Cancer. Spirit shows a vision of a tide slowly pulling back, revealing treasures buried beneath the sand, things you thought were lost, forgotten, or too painful to revisit. This month, before it ends, something big shifts in your energy, and it's directly tied to what's been buried in your emotional world. The waves of your life are changing rhythm. What once overwhelmed you is now teaching you. The universe is calling you out of survival mode and into soulful clarity. Hey, beautiful soul. This is Ira. How are you feeling lately? When I tuned into your frequency, Spirit whispered the word restoration. Not just physical rest, but emotional restoration. Cancer. This is the energy of your comeback, the emotional heaviness that's been lingering, that quiet ache that makes you overthink or withdraw, is finally beginning to lift. Spirit says this month isn't about fixing anything, but allowing what's already healing to complete its cycle. And if you've been seeing 444, or waking up between 3 and 5 a.m., it's a clear sign that your guides are realigning your energy through spiritual protection and divine recalibration. Before we begin, if you'd like a full month-by-month look at what 2026 is aligning for your love life, purpose, and abundance, my complete 2026 energy forecast is available for $155. You can also book a personal $9 reading or join my $99 monthly membership for ongoing intuitive guidance and energetic alignment sessions. Now, Cancer Spirit says this message will reveal what's shifting for you before this month closes, emotionally, spiritually, and even materially. The first card drawn for you is the Deep Cleanse. Spirit says this card represents emotional detox, not in a dramatic way, but in quiet release. You've been carrying emotions that were never yours to begin with. The energy of this card feels like crying, not from sadness, but from freedom. From the body realizing it no longer has to hold everything. This month, expect old emotions, dreams, or memories to resurface. Not to wound you again, but to be cleared for good. Energetically, the Deep Cleanse speaks of purification through truth. Spirit says you're becoming aware of where your energy has been leaking. Whether through emotional labor, people-pleasing, or unspoken resentment, those drains are now closing. You might find yourself suddenly needing solitude, longer sleeps, or craving water and movement. That's your system purging stored tension. Spirit says your aura is expanding, your intuition sharpening, emotional clarity returns when mental clutter leaves. Psychologically, this card points to self-forgiveness. Cancer energy often carries the guilt of things that were never its fault, feeling responsible for others' emotions or outcomes. Spirit says this month you learn to detach without disconnecting, to care deeply without collapsing under empathy. The lesson here is emotional boundaries. You can love someone and still choose peace. That understanding becomes your liberation. Practically, this energy could manifest as you letting go of old digital files, cleaning your space, or even changing your environment. You might declutter your home only to realize you're symbolically clearing your heart. By the end of this process, you'll feel lighter, ready to make decisions from emotional clarity, not from the old weight of what you were healing. The next energy entering your reading is the Heart's Gateway. Spirit says this represents the reopening of your emotional center after a long season of self-protection. You've built walls, Cancer, but now they're softening. You no longer need to guard yourself from love. You just need to choose who receives it. Emotionally, you'll begin to feel safe expressing yourself again, and that vulnerability becomes your magnetism. Energetically, the Heart's Gateway holds frequencies of compassion and alignment. You're being guided to see love not as risk, but as divine flow. Spirit says someone or something may mirror love back to you in a way that heals an old wound. Maybe through a new connection, or a renewed bond that now feels emotionally safe. Your intuition will tell you who's genuine. Your body will relax around the right people. Psychologically, this phase invites you to rewire your emotional patterns. You're no longer mistaking intensity for intimacy. Spirit says you'll start recognizing calm love as real love. The part of you that once equated chaos with passion is finally dissolving. This inner safety allows creativity, joy, and trust to return. You'll find yourself smiling again without waiting for the next disappointment. That's the energy of healing becoming wholeness. Practically, the heart's gateway may manifest through synchronicities, chance meetings, emotional confessions, or deep conversations that bring relief. Spirit says your emotional intelligence becomes your strength now. The world responds to your new openness with opportunities and genuine support. Before this month ends, you'll realize that your softness was never weakness. It was sacred power. The third energy rising for you is the path reversal. Spirit says this represents a redirection that realigns you with your higher timeline. You might notice something you were chasing suddenly loses appeal, or a door you were forcing open finally closes. But instead of despair, there's relief. The path reversal isn't rejection, it's divine intervention. Spirit says, you're being saved from what would have drained your light. Energetically, this card brings recalibration. When old timelines dissolve, it can feel confusing. Sudden endings, plan changes, emotional detachment. But what's really happening is your higher self overriding your old script. Spirit says this month, anything removed from your life is clearing space for stability, not punishment. You're being positioned where your efforts will finally bring results instead of resistance. Psychologically, the path reversal teaches surrender. You're learning to trust timing to stop micromanaging destiny. There's a humility in this phase, realizing that not everything you want is aligned with what your soul actually needs. Spirit says, your intuition is stronger than logic right now. Follow what feels peaceful, not what seems predictable. Peace is the new signpost. Practically, expect delays turning into redirections. Career shifts, travel reschedules, relationship dynamics changing, all pointing you toward something far better aligned. Spirit says by the end of this cycle, you'll look back and realize the detour was divine. The timeline you're entering now will lead to long-term emotional and financial security. Next, Spirit reveals the anchor of faith. This card comes through as divine grounding, the calm after emotional turbulence. Cancer, you're finding stability within yourself, and that internal foundation will soon reflect externally. Emotionally, this energy feels like steady breathing after chaos. You've stopped seeking safety in others and started building it inside your own spirit. Spirit says this is when your manifestations finally stick, because they're being built on healed soil. Energetically, the anchor of faith radiates assurance. You're reconnecting with divine trust, that quiet knowing that what's meant for you will never pass you by. The anxiety of, what if it doesn't work out, fades, replaced by confidence that everything is unfolding for you, not against you. Spirit says this internal calm becomes your magnet for blessings. Psychologically, you're mastering emotional regulation. You've learned how to respond rather than react. The people and situations that used to destabilize you no longer hold that power. Spirit says this is emotional maturity, and it's what turns chaos into creation. Your faith becomes the anchor that steadies your mind, and the world begins to mirror your new balance. Practically, this could look like committing to a new project, habit, or financial plan. You'll start seeing progress where before there was stagnation. Spirit says consistency is your new magic. Small daily choices will create massive stability. Before the month ends, you'll feel supported, grounded, and back in control of your reality. The final energy for this reading is the bloom after the storm. Spirit shows this as the culmination of your emotional journey, the renewal phase. You've endured so much growth, Cancer, but now you finally get to experience softness again. Emotionally, joy begins to return in subtle ways. Laughter feels easier, mornings lighter, hope more believable. Spirit says, you're not waiting for blessings anymore. You're living them. Energetically, this card radiates abundance. Your frequency is shifting from survival to expansion. Spirit says the more gratitude you express, the more blessings unfold. You've reached the part of your journey where receiving doesn't feel foreign, it feels deserved. You're becoming magnetic not because you're manifesting harder, but because you're aligned deeper. Psychologically, the bloom after the storm symbolizes integration, the full embodiment of lessons learned. You're not who you were a few months ago. You no longer chase validation, and you've stopped explaining your emotions to people committed to misunderstanding you. Spirit says this self-respect becomes your protection. You're now walking into a phase of peace, purpose, and prosperity. Practically, this energy could show up through new work opportunities, a relationship feeling renewed, or a clear sign that your healing journey has come full circle. Spirit says before this month ends, you'll receive undeniable confirmation, something that proves your faith wasn't in vain. The shift you've prayed for is already in motion. Cancer, Spirit says you've spent years healing. Now you're ready to live. The big shift before this month ends is emotional liberation. You're no longer defined by the past. You're shaped by what you've learned from it. The tide is turning, and this time it's carrying you toward peace. Affirmation: I release control, I trust the divine flow, and I allow my energy to align with peace, purpose, and prosperity. I am safe, guided, and ready for the next chapter of my life.